Belize. Belize is a Caribbean country located on the northeastern coast of Central America. Belize is bordered on the northwest by Mexico, on the east by the Caribbean Sea, and on the south and west by Guatemala. It has an area of 22,970 square kilometers, 8,867 square miles, and a population of 408,487, 2019. Its mainland is about 180 miles, 290 kilometers long and 68 miles, 110 kilometers wide. It has the lowest population and population density in Central America. The country's population growth rate of 1.87% per year 2018 estimate is the second highest in the region and one of the highest in the Western Hemisphere. The Maya civilization spread into the area of Belize between 1500 BC and AD 300 and flourished until about 1200. European contact began in 1502 when Christopher Columbus sailed along the Gulf of Honduras. European exploration was begun by English settlers in 1638. This period was also marked by Spain and Britain both laying claim to the land until Britain defeated the Spanish in the Battle of St. George's Caye, 1798. It became a British colony in 1840, known as British Honduras, and a Crown colony in 1862. Independence was achieved from the United Kingdom on 21 September 1981. Belize has a diverse society that is composed of many cultures and languages that reflect its rich history. English is the official language of Belize, while Belizean Creole is the most widely spoken national language, being the native language of over a third of the population. Over half the population is multilingual, with Spanish being the second most common spoken language. It is known for its September celebrations, its extensive barrier reef coral reefs and punta music. Belize's abundance of terrestrial and marine species and its diversity of ecosystems give it a key place in the globally significant Mesoamerican biological corridor. It is considered a Central American and Caribbean nation with strong ties to both the American and Caribbean regions. It is a member of the Caribbean Community (CARICOM), the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States (CELAC), and the Central American Integration System (SICA), the only country to hold full membership in all three regional organizations. Belize is a Commonwealth realm, with Queen Elizabeth II as its monarch and head of state. Etymology of Belize. The earliest known record of the name, Belize, appears in the journal of the Dominican priest Fray José Delgado, dating to 1677. Delgado recorded the names of three major rivers that he crossed while traveling north along the Caribbean coast: Rio Soit, Rio Zibam and Rio Balize. The names of these waterways, which correspond to the Siti River, Sibin River and Belize River, were provided to Delgado by his translator. It has been proposed that Delgado's Balize was actually the Mayan word Belix, or Belize, meaning muddy-watered. More recently, it has been proposed that the name comes from the Mayan phrase Bel Itza, meaning the road to Itza. In the 1820s, the Creole elite of Belize invented the legend that the toponym Belize derived from the Spanish pronunciation of the name of a Scottish buccaneer, Peter Wallace, who established a settlement at the mouth of the Belize River in 1638. There is no proof that buccaneers settled in this area, and the very existence of Wallace is considered a myth. Writers and historians have suggested several other possible etymologies, including postulated French and African origins. History of Belize. The Maya civilization emerged at least 3 millennia ago in the lowland area of the Yucatan Peninsula and the highlands to the south, in the area of present-day southeastern Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and western Honduras. Many aspects of this culture persist in the area, despite nearly 500 years of European domination. Prior to about 2500 BC, some hunting and foraging bands settled in small farming villages. They domesticated crops such as corn, beans, squash, and chili peppers. A profusion of languages and subcultures developed within the Maya core culture. Between about 2500 BC and 250 AD, the basic institutions of Maya civilization emerged. Maya civilization. The Maya civilization spread across what is now Belize around 1500 BC and flourished there until about AD 900. The recorded history of the middle and southern regions is dominated by Caracol, an urban political center that may have supported over 140,000 people. North of the Maya Mountains, the most important political center was Lamanai. In the late Classic era of Maya civilization 600–1000 AD, it is estimated that between 400,000 and 1 million people inhabited the area that is now Belize. When Spanish explorers arrived in the 16th century, the area that is now Belize included three distinct Maya territories: Chetumal Province, which encompassed the area around Corozal Bay; Zulunacob Province, which encompassed the area between the New River and the Sibin River, west to Tipu; and a southern territory controlled by the Manchjal Maya, encompassing the area between the Monkey River and the Sarstoon River. Government and politics in Belize. Belize is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. The structure of government is based on the British parliamentary system, and the legal system is modelled on the common law of England. The head of state is Queen Elizabeth II, who holds the title Queen of Belize. The Queen lives in the United Kingdom and is represented in Belize by the Governor-General. Executive authority is exercised by the Cabinet, which advises the Governor-General and is led by the Prime Minister of Belize, who is head of government. Cabinet ministers are members of the majority political party in Parliament and usually hold elected seats within it concurrent with their cabinet positions. The bicameral National Assembly of Belize comprises a House of Representatives and a Senate. The 31 members of the House are popularly elected to a maximum 5-year term and introduce legislation affecting the development of Belize. The Governor-General appoints the 12 members of the Senate, with a Senate President selected by the members. The Senate is responsible for debating and approving bills passed by the House. Legislative power is vested in both the government and the Parliament of Belize. Constitutional safeguards include freedom of speech, press, worship, movement, and association. The judiciary is independent of the executive and the legislature. Members of the independent judiciary are appointed. The judicial system includes local magistrates grouped under the Magistrates' Court, which hears less serious cases. The Supreme Court, Chief Justice, hears murder and similarly serious cases, and the Court of Appeal hears appeals from convicted individuals seeking to have their sentences overturned. Defendants may, under certain circumstances, appeal their cases to the Caribbean Court of Justice. Political culture in Belize. Since 1974, the party system in Belize has been dominated by the center-left People's United Party and the center-right United Democratic Party, although other small parties took part in all levels of elections in the past. Though none of these small political parties has ever won any significant number of seats and/or offices, their challenge has been growing over the years. Armed forces in Belize. The Belize Defense Force (BDF) serves as the country's military and is responsible for protecting the sovereignty of Belize. The BDF, with the Belize National Coast Guard and the Immigration Department, is a department of the Ministry of Defense and Immigration. In 1997 the Regular Army numbered over 900, the Reserve Army 381, the Air Wing 45 and the Maritime Wing 36, amounting to the overall strength of approximately 1,400. In 2005, the Maritime Wing became part of the Belizean Coast Guard. In 2012, the Belizean government spent about $17 million on the military, constituting 1.08% of the country's gross domestic product (GDP). After Belize achieved independence in 1981, the United Kingdom maintained a deterrent force, British Forces Belize, in the country to protect it from invasion by Guatemala. See Guatemalan claim to Belizean territory. During the 1980s this included a battalion and No. 1417 Flight RAF of Harriers. The main British force left in 1994, 3 years after Guatemala recognized Belizean independence, but the United Kingdom maintained a training presence via the British Army Training and Support Unit Belize (BATSUB) and 25 Flight AAC until 2011 when the last British forces left Ladyville Barracks, with the exception of seconded advisors. Geography of Belize. Belize is on the Caribbean coast of northern Central America. It shares a border on the north with the Mexican state of Quintana Roo, on the west with the Guatemalan department of Petén, and on the south with the Guatemalan department of Izabal. To the east in the Caribbean Sea, the second longest barrier reef in the world flanks much of the 240 miles (386 kilometers) of predominantly marshy coastline. The area of the country totals 8,865 square miles, 22,960 square kilometers, an area slightly larger than El Salvador, Israel, New Jersey or Wales. The many lagoons along the coasts and in the northern interior reduce the actual land area to 8,263 square miles, 21,400 square kilometers. Belize is shaped like a rectangle that extends about 174 miles 280 kilometers north-south and about 62 miles 100 kilometers east-west, with a total land boundary length of 321 miles 516 kilometers. The undulating courses of two rivers, the Hondo and the Sarstoon River, define much of the course of the country's northern and southern boundaries. The western border follows no natural features and runs north-south through lowland forest and highland plateau. The north of Belize consists mostly of flat, swampy coastal plains, in places heavily forested. The flora is highly diverse considering the small geographical area. The south contains the low mountain range of the Maya Mountains. The highest point in Belize is Doyle's Delight at 3,688 feet 1,124 meters. Belize's rugged geography has also made the country's coastline and jungle attractive to drug smugglers, who use the country as a gateway into Mexico. In 2011, the United States added Belize to the list of nations considered major drug producers or transit countries for narcotics. Environment preservation and biodiversity in Belize. Belize has a rich variety of wildlife because of its unique position between North and South America and a wide range of climates and habitats for plant and animal life. Belize's low human population and approximately 8,867 square miles (22,970 square kilometers) of undistributed land make for an ideal home for the more than 5,000 species of plants and hundreds of species of animals, including armadillos, snakes, and monkeys. The Coxcomb Basin Wildlife Sanctuary is a nature reserve in south-central Belize established to protect the forests, fauna, and watersheds of an approximately 150 square miles (400 square kilometers) area of the eastern slopes of the Maya Mountains. The reserve was founded in 1990 as the first wilderness sanctuary for the jaguar and is regarded by one author as the premier site for jaguar preservation in the world. Climate in Belize. Belize has a tropical climate with pronounced wet and dry seasons, although there are significant variations in weather patterns by region. Temperatures vary according to elevation, proximity to the coast, and the moderating effects of the northeast trade winds off the Caribbean.
Average temperatures in the coastal regions range from 24 degrees Celsius (75.2 degrees Fahrenheit) in January to 27 degrees Celsius (80.6 degrees Fahrenheit) in July.
Temperatures are slightly higher inland, except for the southern highland plateaus, such as the mountain Pine Ridge, where it is a noticeably cooler year-round. Overall, the seasons are marked more by differences in humidity and rainfall than in temperature. Average rainfall varies considerably, from 53 inches (1,350 millimeters) in the north and west to over 180 inches (4,500 millimeters) in the extreme south. Seasonal differences in rainfall are greatest in the northern and central regions of the country where, between January and April or May, less than 3.9 inches (100 millimeters) of rainfall per month. The dry season is shorter in the south, normally only lasting from February to April. A shorter, less rainy period, known locally as the Little Dry, usually occurs in late July or August, after the onset of the rainy season. Hurricanes have played key, and devastating, roles in Belizean history. In 1931, an unnamed hurricane destroyed over two-thirds of the buildings in Belize City and killed more than 1,000 people. In 1955, Hurricane Janet leveled the northern town of Corozal. Only 6 years later, Hurricane Hattie struck the central coastal area of the country, with winds in excess of 185 miles per hour (300 kilometers per hour) and 13 feet 4 meters storm tides. The devastation of Belize City for the second time in 30 years prompted the relocation of the capital some 50 miles (80 kilometers) inland to the planned city of Belmopan. In 1978, Hurricane Greta caused more than $25 million in damages along the southern coast. On 9 October 2001, Hurricane Iris made landfall at Monkey River Town as a 145 miles per hour, 235 kilometers per hour Category 4 storm. The storm demolished most of the homes in the village and destroyed the banana crop. In 2007, Hurricane Dean made landfall as a Category 5 storm only 25 miles 40 kilometers north of the Belize-Mexico border. Dean caused extensive damage in northern Belize. In 2010, Belize was directly affected by the Category 2 Hurricane Richard, which made landfall approximately 20 miles 32 kilometers south-southeast of Belize City at around 0:45 Coordinated Universal Time on 25 October 2010. The storm moved inland towards Belmopan, causing estimated damage of $33.8 million Belize dollars, $17.4 million 2010 United States dollars, primarily from damage to crops and housing. The most recent hurricane to affect the nation was Hurricane Earl of 2016. Economy of Belize. Belize has a small, mostly private enterprise economy that is based primarily on agriculture, agro-based industry, and merchandising, with tourism and construction recently assuming greater importance. The country is also a producer of industrial minerals, crude oil, and petroleum. As of 2017, oil production was 2,000 barrels d 320 cubic meters d. In agriculture, sugar, like in colonial times, remains the chief crop, accounting for nearly half of exports, while the banana industry is the largest employer. The government of Belize faces important challenges to economic stability. Rapid action to improve tax collection has been promised, but a lack of progress in reining in spending could bring the exchange rate under pressure. The tourist and construction sectors strengthened in early 1999, leading to a preliminary estimate of revived growth at 4%. Infrastructure remains a major economic development challenge. Belize has the region's most expensive electricity. Trade is important and the major trading partners are the United States, Mexico, the European Union, and Central America. Belize has 4 commercial bank groups, of which the largest and oldest is Belize Bank. The other 3 banks are Heritage Bank, Atlantic Bank, and Scotiabank Belize. A robust complex of credit unions began in the 1940s under the leadership of Marion M. Gainey, S.J. Belize is located on the coast of Central America. Based on its location, it is a popular destination for vacations. However, also due to its location, it is currently becoming known in the global arena for attracting many drug trafficking entities in North America. The Belize currency is pegged to the US dollar. This entices drug traffickers and money launderers who want to utilize the banking system. In addition, banks in Belize offer non-residents the ability to establish accounts. Because of this, many drug traffickers and money launderers utilize banks in Belize. As a result, the United States Department of State has recently named Belize one of the world's major money laundering countries. Tourist places in Belize. A combination of natural factors, climate, the Belize Barrier Reef, over 450 offshore cays, islands, excellent fishing, safe waters for boating, scuba diving, snorkeling and freediving, numerous rivers for rafting, and kayaking, various jungle and wildlife reserves of fauna and flora, for hiking, bird watching, and helicopter touring, as well as many Maya sites, support the thriving tourism and ecotourism industry. It also has the largest cave system in Central America. Development costs are high, but the government of Belize has made tourism its second development priority after agriculture. In 2012, tourist arrivals totaled 917,869, with about 584,683 from the United States, and tourist receipts amounted to over $1.3 billion. Demographics of Belize. Belize's population is estimated to be 360,346 in 2017 and estimated at 408,487 in 2019. Belize's total fertility rate in 2009 was 3.6 children per woman. Its birth rate was 22.9 births, 1,000 population 2018 estimate, and the death rate was 4.2 deaths, 1,000 population 2018 estimate. A substantial ethnic demographic shift has been occurring since 1980 when Creole's mestizo ratio has shifted from 58/48 to now at 26/53, with Creoles moving to the U.S. and mestizo birth rate and entry from El Salvador. Woods, Composition and Distribution of Ethnic Groups in Belize 1997. Languages in Belize. English is the official language of Belize. This stems from the country being a former British colony. Belize is the only country in Central America with English as the official language. Also, English is the primary language of public education, government and most media outlets. About half of Belizeans regardless of ethnicity speak a mostly English-based Creole called Belize Creole or Creole in Belize Creole. Although English is widely used, Creole is spoken in all situations whether informal, formal, social or interethnic dialogue, even in meetings of the House of Representatives. When the Creole language exists alongside its lexifier language, as is the case in Belize, a continuum forms between the Creole and the lexifier language. It is therefore difficult to substantiate or differentiate the number of Belize Creole speakers compared to English speakers. Creole might best be described as the lingua franca of the nation. Approximately 50% of Belizeans self-identify as mestizo, Latino, or Hispanic and 30% speak Spanish as a native language. When Belize was a British colony, Spanish was banned in schools but today it is widely taught as a second language. Kitchen Spanish is an intermediate form of Spanish mixed with Belize Creole, spoken in the northern towns such as Corozal and San Pedro. Over half the population is multilingual. Being a small, multi-ethnic state, surrounded by Spanish-speaking nations, multilingualism is strongly encouraged. Belize is also home to 3 Maya languages, Quichua, Mopan an endangered language, and Yucatec Maya. Approximately 16,100 people speak the Arawakan-based Garifuna language, and 6,900 Mennonites in Belize speak mainly Plattdeutsch while a minority of Mennonites speak Pennsylvania German. Education in Belize. A number of kindergartens, secondary, and tertiary schools in Belize provide quality education for students, mostly funded by the government. Belize has about a dozen tertiary-level institutions, the most prominent of which is the University of Belize, which evolved out of the University College of Belize founded in 1986. Before that St. John's College, founded in 1877, dominated the tertiary education field. The open campus of the University of the West Indies has a site in Belize. It also has campuses in Barbados, Trinidad, and Jamaica. The government of Belize contributes financially to the UWI. Education in Belize is compulsory between the ages of 6 and 14 years. As of 2010, the literacy rate in Belize was estimated at 79.7%, one of the lowest in the Western Hemisphere. The educational policy is currently following the Education Sector Strategy 2011 to 2016, which sets 3 objectives for the years to come: improving access, quality, and governance of the education system by providing technical and vocational education and training. Culture in Belize. In Belizean folklore, there are the legends of Lang Bobi Susi, La Llorona, La Sucia, Tata Duende, Exadabai, Anansi, Ixtabe, Sisamite and the Cadejo. Most of the public holidays in Belize are traditional Commonwealth and Christian holidays, although some are specific to Belizean culture such as Garifuna Settlement Day and Heroes and Benefactors Day, formerly Baron Bliss Day. In addition, the month of September is considered a special time of national celebration called September Celebrations, with a whole month of activities on a special events calendar. Besides Independence Day and St. George's K Day, Belizeans also celebrate Carnival during September, which typically includes several events spread across multiple days, with the main event being the Carnival Road March, usually held the Saturday before the 10th of September. In some areas of Belize, however, Carnival is celebrated at the traditional time before Lent, in February. Sports in Belize. The major sports in Belize are football, basketball, volleyball and cycling, with smaller followings of boat racing, athletics, softball, cricket, rugby and netball. Fishing is also popular in coastal areas of Belize. The Cross-Country Cycling Classic, also known as the Cross-Country Race or the Holy Saturday Cross-Country Cycling Classic, is considered one of the most important Belize sports events. This one-day sports event is meant for amateur cyclists but has also gained worldwide popularity. The history of cross-country cycling classic in Belize dates back to the period when Monrad Metzgen picked up the idea from a small village on the Northern Highway, now Philip Goldson Highway. The people from this village used to cover long distances on their bicycles to attend the weekly game of cricket. He improvised on this observation by creating a sporting event on the difficult terrain of the Western Highway, which was then poorly built. Another major annual sporting event in Belize is the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge, a 4-day canoe marathon held each year in March. The race runs from San Ignacio to Belize City, a distance of 180 miles (290 kilometers). On Easter Day, citizens of Dangriga participate in a yearly fishing tournament. First, second, and third prize are awarded based on a scoring combination of size, species, and number. The tournament is broadcast over local radio stations, and prize money is awarded to the winners. The Belize national basketball team is the only national team that has achieved major victories internationally. The team won the 1998 CARICOM Men's Basketball Championship, held at the Civic Center in Belize City, and subsequently participated in the 1999 Centro Basket Tournament in Havana. The national team finished 7th of 8 teams after winning only one game despite playing close all the way. In a return engagement at the 2000 CARICOM Championship in Barbados, Belize placed 4th. Shortly thereafter, Belize moved to the Central American region and won the Central American Games Championship in 2001. The team has failed to duplicate this success, most recently finishing with a 2-4 record in the 2006 COCABA Championship. The team finished second in the 2009 COCABA tournament in Cancun, Mexico, where it went 3-0 in group play. Belize won its opening match in the Centro Basket Tournament 2010, defeating Trinidad and Tobago, but lost badly to Mexico in a rematch of the COCABA final. A tough win over Cuba set Belize in position to advance, but they fell to Puerto Rico in their final match and failed to qualify. Simone Biles, the winner of 4 gold medals in the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics, is a dual citizen of the United States and of Belize, which she considers her second home. Biles is herself Belizean American in descent. National symbol of Belize. The national flower is the black orchid Prosthecia cochleata, also known as Encyclia cochleata. The national tree is the mahogany tree Sweetenia macrophylla, which inspired the national motto Sub Umbra Florio, which means under the shade, I flourish. The national animal is Baird's tapir and the national bird is the keel-billed toucan Rhamphastos sulphuratus. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, click on like button. If you want to watch more videos like this, click on the subscription button below, it's free subscription.